Good evening, everyone. My name is Jamal, and the topic I'm discussing today is social media and internet addiction. Now, for the past few weeks, I've been doing research on social media and internet addiction and all the negative effects that come with it, especially when it comes to the younger generation. Now, you're probably wondering, why is this important and why should you care? Well, social media and the internet plays a huge part of our everyday lives. 9 times out of 10, probably the first thing you do when you wake up in the morning is grab your phone to check your social media news feed. I know a lot of people do it. I know I'm guilty of doing it sometimes, but it's to the point where social media and the internet has become second nature to a lot of people. And although social media has its benefits, like connecting with friends and family and researching certain topics, it definitely has negative effects as well, such as social media addiction. And pretty much in this presentation, I'm going to go over that. So, why is social media addiction important? Well, with the advancements in technology and smartphones, social media addiction is more common, meaning that with more technology and more cell phones being created, people are more likely to engage on social media more. And too much social media could definitely be a bad thing because social media addiction can lead to cyberbullying, depression, harassment, and low self esteem, right? Now, I'm not saying this is the case every time you hop on social media, but these things have definitely been proven to happen when it comes to people who frequently use social media, meaning that you're more likely to experience these things on the internet if you're on it for too long. Now, who was most impacted by social media addiction? Well, as I said before, specifically, I wanted to see how social media addiction affected the younger generation because best believe this is definitely an issue amongst younger generations, specifically Gen Z and even some millennials have issues with social media addiction. Social media and internet addiction is something, like I said, that affects the younger generations the most. So you're not really going to see any of the older generations, dealing with this type of stuff, because it's something that is almost exclusive to the younger generations. And if you think about it, it makes sense because a lot of us, we grew up on the internet. A lot of us grew up on Facebook and social media, so it's already become a part of our lives. And for a lot of us, it's a part of our childhood. So we're used to it. According to Statista.com, 90% of people between the ages of 18 and 29 frequently use social media compared to other age groups. When I first saw this statistic, I wasn't surprised because, like I said, a lot of the younger generation, Gen Z and millennials, we grew up on the internet. The older generations, they didn't really have the internet growing up. So they're not really as big on social media. However, when it comes to the younger kids and teenagers and even some young adults, we're very active on social media. Now, what organizations help with social media addiction and solving the problem of social media addiction? Well, I listed two organizations. The Organization of Social Media and Safety is a good organization. Their goal is pretty much to improve the overall safety for young children and teenagers on the internet because the internet can be a very dangerous place. Like I said, although the internet can be very beneficial, it could also be a very dangerous place. There's a lot of negativity, there's a lot of harm that can be done over the internet. And one thing this organization does is try to make sure that teenagers are using the internet and social media more responsibly. Not only that, but they're also working to deal with the effects of cyberbullying. Because, like I said, when it comes to social media addiction and too much internet, cyberbullying is a big issue. And this organization does a real good job trying to deal with that. Another organization is Reboot and Recovery. Now, they have a very good counseling program. And pretty much what their goal is pretty much to deal with social media addiction head on. So if you're dealing with social media addiction or if you're addicted to the internet, they have a very good counseling program that, someone will sit down and talk to you like they typically do a person who's addicted to a controlled substance. It's the same thing. You go to rehab, you get help. This is pretty much the same thing. You're addicted to the internet, you're addicted to social media. let us help you. Let's sit down and talk about it. They do a good job with this. I wasn't aware that there were organizations that did stuff like this, so I was actually surprised when I did my research on this organization. Now, although there are organizations that try to help with the issue of social media addictions, there are also organizations that encourage social media addiction. Two organizations that I think encourage social media addiction is the Shade Room and TMZ. Now, most of you probably heard of these platforms. They're very popular social media platforms. Both of them kind of serve as news outlets. So pretty much their goal is to keep up what's going on in the world today and, just gossip and stuff like that. Me personally, I don't really like these organizations because I think that their platforms are very toxic and very negative, and they open up the room for cyberbullying. I know the Shade Room is notorious for, having people roast other people in the comment section. And that is literally cyberbullying. That is everything that I'm trying to fight against. So these organizations definitely, don't help the issue. In fact, they make it worse, you know. So, and not only that, these organizations, they thrive on the amount of people who use social media. That's how they make their money. So of course they're going to want you to use social media more. Of course they're going to want you to interact on social media more because that's how they get paid. However, it doesn't change the fact that both of these platforms are very toxic and encourage cyberbullying. Now, how can you fight social media addictions? Now, one thing that I said that you could do to, fight social media addictions is participate in the social media blackout. Now, what a social media blackout is that students are required to go at least a week without using social media. So for 7 days or however long you want to go, I challenge you to put your phone down and just take a break off social media. The reason that I want students to participate in this challenge as a way to fight social media addiction is because by taking time off social media, you're going to have a lot of free time. And with that free time, it gives you opportunities to engage in things more productive, right? So instead of spending hours on top of hours scrolling TikTok or watching YouTube videos or on Instagram, you can spend that time doing stuff more productive, right? You can spend that time doing homework. You can spend that time reading a book. You can spend that time spending, time with friends and family, going outside, being physically active. There are so many things you could do with the amount of free time if you're not wasting it on social media. Because if you really think about it, the average person can waste hours on social media. So just taking a break from social media will give you a lot of free time. But not only that, it's also very beneficial for your mental health because, like I said, social media can be a very negative place. All it takes is one negative post or one negative comment, and it can ruin your whole day. I've experienced it. I'm pretty sure we've all experienced it. People can be mean on the internet. So the best way to protect your mental health when it comes to stuff like that is just not to engage with it at all. I'm not really active on social media. And when I am active on social media, I don't really spend a long period of time on social media because I know there's a lot of negativity on social media. So in conclusion, in the future, I wish people would spend less time scrolling on social media and more time doing the things that make them happy, right? Because like I said, it's very easy to get addicted to social media. It's very easy to get addicted to the internet. And these addictions are not good things, right? You don't want to be sitting on your phone all day, every day, just wasting time, being exposed to negative energy and arguing with people in the comment section. That doesn't make anyone happy, right? So I would want in the future for more people to kind of stray away from social media as much and only use it when you have to, right? Instead of social media always being the main source of entertainment for people. I also want people to be more responsible on social media, right? If you're going to use social media, the least you can do is make sure you're using it in the right way. So when you're using social media, don't be on there arguing with people. Don't be on there trying to cyberbully. Don't be on there, spreading negativity. Just use it for what is meant to be used for, which is connect with family and friends, and that's it. All right. And then another thing that I want people to try to do is just put your phone down and enjoy the moment, right? There have been a lot of times where I've been hanging out with some of my friends and they're always on their phones. And 9 times out of 10, they're just looking at posts on social media. And that's to me, that's very sad because you're not living in a moment. You're not experiencing everything life has to offer. So, you know, just put your phone down and just enjoy a moment, right? And yeah, that's pretty much it. That wraps up my presentation. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys, gathered information, and I hope you guys take the amount of time you spend on social media more seriously. Thank you.